Starting this edition of This is Exclusive with the big secret. It appears to be a big secret because the Congress party won't talk about it. The US has officially not issued a statement. It hasn't spoken about it. It is not giving out more details. But as per reports, some reports suggesting that during his visit to the United States of America, Rahul Gandhi went to the White House and met a mid-level White House official called Donald Lu at the White House. Now, it's not unusual for the opposition leaders to meet White House officials, but secrecy around this alleged meeting or reported meeting has raised questions. My colleague Abhishek is joining us live. Abhishek, why is nobody talking about it? The US is not issuing any statement. They're not saying much. Congress party itself silent. What do you think is the reason, Abhishek, that everyone's quiet on this meeting?
Well, let's begin with the government of India, Niranjan. Obviously, yes. Because Prime Minister Narendra Modi is all set to be in the United States for a state visit as a special invitee of the President of the United States, Joe Biden. And he happens to be first Prime Minister in more than a decade to be getting that honor, and first Indian leader to be addressing the US Congress, a joint session of the US Congress. So obviously US Capitol. So obviously the government of India would not want to sort of disturb the momentum going ahead. That's why perhaps the government has decided, the Ministry of External Affairs has decided not to sort of pick it up. For the Congress party, obviously the fact that they have been panning Prime Minister Modi's visits abroad, so sort of they would also want to keep mum. But the fact of the matter is, it seems likely, Niranjan, that there is a section within the larger democratic establishment, in the Democrat establishment in the United States, which sort of still wants to engage with the opposition, and hence Rahul Gandhi was invited, and a senior official of the White House met, as per reports that have come out. Essentially, Niranjan, it seems that Rahul Gandhi, despite not having an official passport, not even being a member of parliament, obviously not the Congress president or the leader of the Congress party, still is seen as someone who is going to play a key role in the opposition. And perhaps, as I mentioned, that section of the Democrat establishment in DC, in White House, really wanted to engage with him. And him being in Washington, DC as part of his larger US tour, perhaps led to one thing leading to another, and ultimately the meeting happening. So I think it ends at that. But then the question is, because the Congress party, which questions Prime Minister's outreach to the Indian diaspora whenever he travels, now engages with the diaspora, like we saw Rahul Gandhi doing it in the case of Europe last month, and in the United States now. Though it's another matter that most of these events organized for Rahul Gandhi across the United States, from the West Coast to the East Coast, were essentially had dominant role being played by those sections or those organizations which, as much as having Indian membership, they had even Pakistani membership. So we don't know whether what exact purpose was served by addressing that constituency, because if at all Mr. Rahul Gandhi has to contest from anywhere in India, but not obviously in Pakistan. So that's an important aspect for the Congress party to be engaging with the diaspora and panning the Prime Minister to be doing so again. And of course, the fact that a certain section within the Democrat establishment wanted to engage with Rahul Gandhi, and that's why perhaps this meeting happened in the White House.
Abhishek, now, you were there when S. Jaishankar, the External Affairs Minister, was addressing the news conference this morning. Specifically, if I'm not wrong, a few questions were asked on this issue. He did touch upon it. He didn't say much, but what was his message? What was his response when asked the question on the secrecy, especially surrounding this visit?
Well, obviously, so the diplomat in Dr. S. Jaishankar really took over with that question. So he said, though he panned Rahul Gandhi for raising issues of internal governance and issues of democracy outside of India, he said that it does not look good and that it does not really dignify those people who raise these issues abroad, but that home politics should remain within the confines of our borders. But on this particular question of Rahul Gandhi having an audience in the White House with whatever level of officials, he sort of deflected the question, Niranjan. He said that, why are you asking me? Ask them. He did not clarify. By them, he meant the United States or Rahul Gandhi or the Congress party. And then he said that the full facts are not there with them, but then the question should be directed to those who had the meeting or who organized the meeting. Obviously, as I said, Niranjan, because the government does not want, and the Ministry of External Affairs would not want to in any manner disturb the momentum going ahead as a build-up to Prime Minister Modi's state visit that pans out in the third week of this month.
Okay, now my final question, Abhishek. See, some questions are being also asked about the person that he met. I believe it's a White House official. His name is Donald Lu. Last in the news, specifically as far as the Asian subcontinent is concerned, the South Asian subcontinent in Pakistan, Imran Khan specifically named him. And he said, of course, you can't take Imran Khan seriously, but Imran Khan named him and said that he's the one who could be behind the possible regime change plan, etc., vis-a-vis Pakistan. Now, he certainly seems to be a very interesting individual, official in the White House.
Well, yes, Niranjan. So, as I was mentioning, I'll pick up from there. As I said, there is a section within the Democrats, the Democratic Party establishment in the US, which still sort of has certain hesitations when it comes to our Prime Minister. And maybe that section, that segment within the Democrats had a role to play in organizing this meeting. As I said, even if the government has not liked it, they would not say anything at this stage, because Prime Minister's most important visit of this year in terms of India's diplomatic status outside is concerned is panning out. And we have had another White House official, by the way, just 2 days back, Niranjan, Kurt Campbell, who's the advisor on Indo-Pacific in the White House, senior national security secretariat official there in the White House. He said that India and the US partnership is looking at an escape velocity moment in Prime Minister Modi's state visit later this month. So obviously, while there is a broad understanding in DC about India's significance in the larger scheme of things going ahead, there is still an ideological grouping within the Democrat Party, which perhaps still sees some hope within in the Congress Party or wants to engage with the Congress Party. If you look at it, otherwise, whenever a foreign dignitary comes in, there is this custom, a democratic custom of they meeting the government official, government side, the treasury side, the Prime Minister, the External Affairs Minister, and also the leader of opposition. The only catch here is that Mr. Rahul Gandhi is neither the leader of opposition nor the leader of the opposition party, and not even a member of parliament. So that really leaves a certain doubt. A question arises as to in what capacity did the White House really engage with Mr. Gandhi. But then this answer obviously has to come either from the Congress Party or somebody in the White House if the question is asked of them.
Abhishek, thank you for now for getting us your insights into this story. Now, the fact is the US is silent. The Congress Party, for some reason, has not spoken about it. How many secret meetings has Rahul Gandhi had with different dignitaries, diplomats / ministers of other countries? Now, there is a precedence to it. It's happened before. And there are certainly some questions that remain on this meeting as well. Let's move on and get you some more stories we are tracking here on Republic TV since the last